over the course of time, dashboards have moved from being decision-making information to, I call them as information displays, because you have so many tools today and each and every tool gives you amazing visualizations. The easiest place for SMEs to implement AI is by starting off in the initial ingestion phase or the data governance phase that can help you standardize these data anomalies.
Today we are challenging the idea that more data equals better decisions. In 2026, most businesses aren't struggling because they lack information. They are struggling because they are drowning in it.
The simplest advice I would give is make your business decisions drive your data and AI strategy, not the other way around.
Hello everyone, this is Kripa Anand and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we are challenging the idea that more data equals better decisions. In 2026, most businesses aren't struggling because they lack information. They are struggling because they are drowning in it. Joining us today is Shree Neve, VP of Operations at ClicData. With over a decade of experience across 4 countries and a background from Ivy Business School, Shree is a data realist. He helps companies step back from the explosion of tools and dashboards to find actual clarity. At ClicData, he focuses on centralizing fragmented data into a single source of truth that drives growth rather than distraction. So, before further ado, let's welcome the special guest. Shree, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Yeah, nice to have you as well.
Now, Shree, most SMEs today have plenty of dashboards, right? Yet leadership teams still struggle to make that clear decision every single week. So let's start the conversation by understanding from you. Are dashboards truly improving decisions or just creating noise and, a false sense of control?
I think you started off in the introduction itself, I think, in a very good way, that businesses today, they don't have a problem of data. I think the problem is clarity.
Yes.
Today's businesses have too much data. The decades back, I would say 10 years ago, the challenge was how do we get data? And that was always the challenge for businesses. They didn't know how to get CRM data. They didn't know how to get marketing information.
Right.
Every system today, it generates terabytes of data.
Mm-hmm.
And the shift has changed from not how to get the data, but how to, I would say, consume that data or how to get clarity out of that data. So I think dashboards itself, they're meant to make decisions, right?
Yeah, that's what they started.
That's how they started.
Right. Yeah.
It was presented that dashboards would be one unified source where the finance team, marketing team, sales team could go in and they can easily get information out of that. But over the course of time, and especially for SMEs, I think what has happened is dashboards have moved from being decision-making information to, I call them as information displays, because you have so many tools today and each and every tool gives you amazing visualizations. You have the ability to drill down into dashboards. You have graphs that are aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
So people want to create 40 different kind of reports.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the dashboards are moving towards noise. Because you're moving away from focused information, focused dashboard to actually just information displays, which might not be meaningful for anyone at all.
Definitely.
I want to give you an example. Think about an old car. That's how a dashboard in an old car. It was simple. 10 years ago, the dashboard in a car would contain a speedometer, a fuel gauge, and probably some indicators which tell you if the engine is doing right or not.
Yeah.
It was universal. You didn't need a 100-page manual to understand what was happening in the car. You sat in the car, you saw the dashboard, you exactly understood what was happening.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's not the case today for today's businesses. A sales number for, let's say, sales might define a customer in a specific way,
Yeah.
The finance team might define revenue in a completely different way,
Right.
and the marketing team might end up defining conversion in a completely different way.
Right.
So now you have three different sort of definitions for the same KPI. And that's where I think dashboards are not assisting in decision making today, unfortunately. They're starting to become noise because people have too much data that they're consuming, and they're putting all that information out as information displays rather than thinking, what do I need for my business? How can dashboards give me clarity and not just information?
No, definitely. Thank you for explaining it so beautifully and so simply for our audience. Because shifting the focus from, what can we track to what drives our business actually is the only way to turn reports into actual results. So that's amazing to know. Next, let's explore fixing data foundations before layering advanced tech, right?
Yeah.
So, why do companies pursue advanced analytics before fixing their core data foundation? Because this is a mistake that I'm sure you've seen a lot in your journey, right? So, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the answer is simple. I think everyone pursues advanced analytics because it's fancy. It is fancy. You don't want to be a company, or personally as well. I think you don't want to go out on LinkedIn and say that, hey, I'm fixing data foundation. I'm doing data cleaning of my 1,000 rows of data. I'm doing data standardization. Doesn't sound fancy enough. If you want to advance in your career, if as a business you want to get new funders, VCs interested in your business, you have to use fancy words. And I think that's where people are starting to think more about advanced analytics. It's just simply fancy. So what people want to say out is, I do regression, I do Python scripting. Everyone wants to use those buzzwords in the industry.
Yeah.
However, I think you need to fix your foundation before even talking about anything about advanced analytics. The foundation is the core of building advanced analytics on it. Recently, I started working. I had a chance to work with the CEO. The CEO was selling natural food products in Ontario. So they approached to us with good questions. They're like, hey, we are selling these products across Ontario. We would like to forecast how does our sales look for the next 6 months? Which customers are likely to buy my products more? Which stores should I go out and have my products in?
Right.
So, a valid question. I think, first of all, having the right question is half the victory. So they were asking the right questions for the business. So I was very happy about that. I just started asking them the fundamental question. I'm like, great, you have the right questions in mind. We're very excited to do this project with you. This is every data scientist's dream. Like, we want to forecast and we want to do everything.
Yeah.
So tell me, how much data do you have? How long have you been in business for?
Yeah.
And that's what shocked me. These guys were in business for 12 months. They had product out for 3 months in 5 stores in Ontario.
So too much too soon, right?
Too much too soon, right? Now, this organization has so little data,
Yeah.
and they're trying to predict outcomes out of it. It's not like the tools can't do it. You feed data into the tools are going to do advanced analytics and give you a forecast. The reports would look fancy. But you have not even proved your business yet. You are at a stage where figure out a way to survive 1 year. Figure out which stores work for you. Expand more product lines.
Yeah.
Have at least 12 months of good, clean data
Right.
before you start thinking about advanced analytics. And I think that's problem number one, or foundation number one, that I want everyone to tell. You need volume. And not just any sort of volume. You need clean volume to actually forecast anything. Okay? Then the second thing I've seen across is people might come and say, okay, I have millions of rows of data. Is that enough to do advanced analytics? You got one part of your foundation right. You got the volume, but is that clean volume? Is that quality volume? So the second foundation, which I ask everyone to focus on, is data governance, right? You need to make sure that the data that you have is clean. You have right data definitions, that you have established across different businesses, across different departments, before you even start asking questions like, what does my sales look 12 months later? Or, You need to make sure that if your finance team is looking at the sales number and your operation team is looking at a sales number, they all look at the same thing. The underlying context is the same. And these problems have become, I would say, bigger and bigger as AI is advancing. AI is coming in the picture. So these challenges are just going to amplify further. So fix your foundation, fix your underlying data before starting advanced analytics is what I would recommend.
No, that's beautifully answered again, because especially the example that you gave, right? I'm sure even I have come across so many such businesses that, they have the right intention, but the speed and everything that's going around is just not in sync with what they want to achieve, right? And on that note, you also mentioned data governance and clean data, right? Because data is the future, but clean data is the future, right? And you also mentioned AI, which is exactly what I was just coming on to. So this conversation is incomplete without mentioning artificial intelligence, right? So AI is not even a buzzword anymore at this point of time. Every day we are waking up to so many new advancements taking over the entire world. But from your perspective, I'd love to understand from, a small business perspective, what does separating real AI value look like from, separating it from the noise out there? So, where does AI genuinely add value to, the data workflows versus adding unnecessary complexity? Because what happens is a small business owner is doing the work, but is also going on LinkedIn and reading all those posts and all those buzzwords, right? So, there's a very difficult scenario of maintaining that balance. So, where do we draw the line?
So I'll start off by saying that I'm a strong supporter of AI adoption. I think every business is moving towards AI adoption, and if you're not doing that as a small SME as well, you're falling behind. You need to start doing it, right? It's not a fad anymore. It's not a fancy word anymore. Unfortunately, it's a tool that you need to start thinking of how to implement it within your organization. But with that in mind, I don't recommend that just thinking about AI without any context in it. You cannot just start using 9 different Copilot AI tools and putting it on different places in your business. There has to be some sort of a framework on how you try to implement it. The way I think about businesses, at least the data workflow framework, as you mentioned, is there are 3 main stages. There is ingestion, processing, and finally ingestion, processing, and visualization. Right? Ingestion is you're taking data, putting it all into one system. Processing is you're trying to clean the data, and then eventually you're visualizing that information out in front. If you're a large organization, probably for you, implementing AI in all the 3 different workflows makes sense for you. You have a team behind you. You are at that level of maturity in your data and your organization that I think you can implement AI in all the different places. But a suggestion for the SMEs, or what I recommend for an SMEs who are just about to start the journey, the easiest place for them to implement AI is by starting off in the initial ingestion phase or the data governance phase. You, as an SME, what you have today is you have a set of data, but you're consistently adding new tools. You're consistently probably adding new fields on your database. You're changing definitions. And AI is there to help you with that. Have AI tools that can help you standardize these data anomalies. Have AI standardized data definitions. What that sets you is that foundation that anyone moving forward will have the same context. So the AI is helping you in the right place rather than trying to put AI everywhere. Just put AI in the very initial stages, which is setting up that framework of your data. So as you scale further, as you add more data, as you decide that we want to do processing, we want to do transformation, we want to do visualization, AI is eventually helping you in those areas as well. The way I think about AI is if AI is not saving time, or think about it, if it's more theatrical, then it's not the right AI for you. It needs to be practical. It needs to be something that saves time for your organization, saves time for the person using it. And AI should just be a tool that is helping you kind of move fast with the changing data definitions, data models, not an afterthought where you're putting AI everywhere and trying to figure out where can I use it.
Definitely. I think using AI to automate the heavy lifting, as you mentioned, and the data cleanup that you mentioned, it allows your team to stay focused on the actionable outcomes that actually matter. To the business leaders watching, in 2026, don't let AI envy distract you from your core business. ClicData is showing up that real power of AI lies in practical automation, like AI agents that handle data transformation and pipeline design so you don't have to. If you are tired of manual reporting and fragmented tools, it's time to simplify. Visit clickdata.com to see how you can centralize your CRM, accounting, and marketing data into one place. Stop chasing every trend and start focusing on the insights that actually drive your growth. Use technology to support your decisions, not to replace your judgment. All right, it's time for a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we'll unpack how businesses can stay focused without getting lost in the data overload. Stay tuned.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back. Let's jump right in and explore how smart businesses are cutting through the noise and staying focused on what truly drives their growth. Shree, I'd love for you to do a little time travel now. Imagine if I were to give you a time machine and we were to go, 5 or 10 years into the future. When you get out of the time machine, how exactly do you, one, envision ClicData evolving and changing over the ecosystem? And second, where do you think AI is going to take us in this journey forward?
So I think 5 years later, in terms of ClicData or probably any other BI solution, I think people are moving towards chat-based interface. I think that's the true sense. No one wants 100 different dashboards and visualizations to look from. I feel like you should have agents, you should have bots where you can go in, you can simply type in a question about what you want, and the AI should be able to translate your business question to a technical term on the back end, probably go and fetch the right data,
Right.
and display that right information out to you. I remember when we started ClicData, I think what we were fascinated by was Minority Report. I don't know if you remember those Minority Report screens. You had endless dashboards that could go out in the abyss and you could interact with them.
Right.
I think it was very fascinating. It was very futuristic at that point of time. The future is already here. Now we have endless dashboards.
Yeah.
What's next? I think the next is we don't want dashboards. We want
Yeah.
quick decisions. We want to be able to ask the right question and we want someone to give us the right answer, not 10 different charts for me to figure out the answer. Give me the answer so I can take business decisions quickly. I think that's the future that we're moving in.
Definitely, you've painted quite a picture there, and the future looks very promising. Shree, I'm loving this conversation today, and definitely I'd love for you to be back, hopefully, for a deeper discussion that we do the next. But for now, before we let you go, if there's one final piece of advice that you have for our listeners today, specifically all the business owners who are very overwhelmed by so much data right now, if you could whisper one thing into their ear, what would you say and why?
I think the simplest advice I would give is make your business decisions drive your data and AI strategy, not the other way around. Don't select your tools, don't select your data, and ask questions, what can it do for my business? Think the other way around. What does my business need? and what tools and what data can I use to answer my questions. I think that's the advice, or a simple piece of advice I'll do. Keep it simple and start with the decision rather than starting with the data.
That is indeed, a golden reminder that clarity usually comes from doing less, but doing it better.
Yeah.
Shree, thank you so much for being here and doing this with us. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Kripa. It was nice being here.
All right, that was Shree Neve from ClicData, a masterclass in cutting through the data noise, fixing your foundation, and using AI for practical growth rather than distraction in 2026. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and visit CanadianSME.ca for more such resources. To learn more about how we are supporting the ecosystem, please visit the Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbfoundation.ca. And lastly, a very special thank you to our partners, UPS and ADP, our HR partner, for their ongoing commitment to empowering SMBs across Canada. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.